In this video, we are going to build an AI code converter website using React, Tailwind, and Puter.js. If you're looking for a fun and practical project to learn how to create AI-powered websites, this project is for you. It's beginner-friendly, easy to follow, takes less than 200 lines of code to complete, and it will look great on your portfolio once we finish it. The coolest part is, for AI integration, you won't need an API key or setting configurations. We are going to handle all of these by using Puter.js, a library that connects our project to any AI model we choose, and it simply does it from the front end. So that means no setups or configurations needed. To make this even easier for you, I will provide a starter code with everything we need so you can jump right in and code along with me. By the end of this video, you will have the skills to create your own AI-powered websites in the most easiest and quickest way possible. So let's get into it. Before we start, let's take a look at the starter code. You can find the GitHub link in the description. So this is a React project created using Vite. For the styling, we have Tailwind inside. Let's take a look at the source folder. Inside the app, we have this background with a gradient and a header. Inside index.html, this is basically where we connect to the AI using Puter. Let's take a look at the official documentation of Puter. Here is a script tag. So you connect Puter to your project by basically copy and pasting this one single script tag into your index.html inside the header. And now we basically have access to these features that you can see on the left, such as AI chat, which is the function that we will be using in this project, text to image, image to text, text to speech, and so on. I will explain how this works when we get there. We also have a couple of additional packages. Here, besides Tailwind CSS, you can see that we have Lucid React for icons, and for creating coding sections on the UI, we are going to use this package named Code Mirror, and it comes with two additional packages, one for a dark theme and a language support for JavaScript, and that is pretty much it. So this is all with the starter code. Again, you can find the link in the description. After you download the project, run npm install inside your terminal to install the dependencies, then run npm run dev to open the project on your browser, and it should look like this. So we can start with the imports. First, we are going to import two hooks. We are going to be using useState to create state variables and manage data, and we're going to use useEffect. We will be using this to create an effect that checks if AI is loaded or not. Then we have the icons. We're going to have this code icon, a play icon, a rotate icon, a check icon, clipboard, and a loader. So these are going to be from Lucid React. It's already installed inside the project. Next, we have Code Mirror to create coding sections. Let's import the JavaScript language support. And we have the dark theme, which is Dracula. And this is it with the imports. And we can start by creating the state variables that we are going to use. First, we're going to have AI ready, and its setter function set AI ready equals useState. It's going to have a initial state of false. We are going to use this to check if AI is ready or not. Next, we have input code equals useState. We are going to use this to store data inside the input section. Let's use backticks as the initial code. We are going to have this hello world function. Next, we're going to have the output code. This one is going to have an initial state of an empty string. This is going to store the data after we process the code and convert it to another language. Then we're going to have a state variable named target language equals useState. We are going to use this to set the language that we are going to convert the code as the initial value. Let's set Python. Next, we're going to have loading, set loading with a initial state of false. We're going to use this to show a loading spinner on the UI while we will wait for the AI response. And we're going to have feedback, set feedback with a empty string initial. We will be using this to show a message on the UI, whether it's a error or a success message. And that is it with the state variables. Next, we are going to create a useEffect that is going to check if AI is loaded or not. So useEffect takes two parameters, the effect that we are going to run and the time that is going to run. We are going to put empty brackets as the second argument, and this will mean run this effect as soon as this component is loaded to the page. Inside the effect, let's create a variable named checkReady, and we're going to use this to create an interval that is going to run every 300 milliseconds. So for every 300 milliseconds, we are going to check if the window object has the Puter function. Question mark basically checks if this is undefined or not, and we're going to check if the AI chat function exists, and if it's loaded, then we can set AI ready to true and clear the interval. Outside this variable, we are going to clean up the effect by using clear interval again, and that is it with the effect. As soon as the website is loaded and this component is mounted, we are going to run this check with this script tag inside index.html. We basically should have access to these Puter functions, and this is why we use window.puter. This is how we are going to access these functions, and we check if it exists. If it's true, we set AI ready to true and clear it. If it's not loaded, it is going to keep checking until it becomes available for every 300 milliseconds. Next, we are going to create a function named handle convert, and it is going to be an async function because we will be waiting for the AI to convert the code. First, we are going to check if there is a input inside the input section using input code. With the exclamation mark, we check if it exists, and we are going to trim it for white space. So if there is no input, we are going to show a feedback that says please enter some code to convert, and exit the function. Also, if AI is not ready, we are basically going to do the same. You can copy and paste this and change this to AI not ready yet. Please wait a few seconds. And if there is a input and AI is ready, then we can continue. Let's set loading to true, and we are going to clear any feedback and the output code as well. Now we are in the loading phase. We are going to pass the code user provided to the AI using a try and catch block. Gonna catch any errors. If there is a error, we are going to show a error on the console that says conversion error, and let's display the error. Also, we're gonna set a feedback with backticks showing the error message like this. So inside the try block, let's create a variable named response. We're gonna use the await keyword because we will be waiting for the AI's feedback. Let's access the Puter object and to the AI function with the chat function. So this is how we pass a prompt to the AI. Inside backticks, let's create a prompt, convert the following code into the selected language, which will be target lang. Only return the converted code with no explanations. And we are going to provide the code by passing input code, and that is our prompt. Next, we are going to get the reply, and we are going to check the type of the response. So type of response, it should be a string, and if it's not a string, if it's a JSON, we are basically going to parse the data and only access the content of the message. So if the type of the response is a string, we are just going to directly use that. If it's an object with a message property, then we are going to use that one. There's also a chance that the response can be multiple messages like an array. We need to take all the content from them and join them in new lines. So let's do that by accessing the messages and mapping over every message's content, and basically join them and create new lines for each. Or there is nothing coming back, we are just going to set it to an empty string. Oops, there's a typo. And if there is no response, Then we are going to show a error that says empty response from AI. And if it all goes well and we have a response parsed correctly, then we can set the output code to the reply with trimming it, and we can show a feedback that says conversion successful. And this is it with this function. It's an async function. Let's go over this one more time in case if you have struggles to understand. This is the function that is going to convert the code that user is going to put in, and it's going to send it to the AI for conversion, and it's going to take the output and show it on the UI. It's an async function because the conversion takes time. First, we check if the input is empty or not. If it's empty, we show this error. Next, we check if AI is not ready. If it's not ready, we show this message. If we have a input and AI is ready, then we go into the loading phase and reset the feedback and the output code from previous conversions. Then, using this try and catch block, we basically send this prompt to the AI with the code user provides and the language user selects. We get the reply and check if it's a string or an object or an array. And we also check if there is no response from AI, and we throw an error in case if that happens. And if we successfully get a conversion back, we set it, we basically store it inside this output code and show a feedback that says conversion successful. And if there are any errors, we show a console error and show a feedback with the error. So we have two very simple functions left, one for handle reset and one for handle copy to copy the code. This is going to be an async function as well. So inside the handle reset, we are going to set input to its initial value back. So we can copy this initial text, set input code to its initial value like this. Let's also reset output code and reset the feedback. And that is it with the handle reset. Oops, there's a little typo. First, we are going to check if there is a output code, and we are going to await for the clipboard API, and we are going to basically copy the output code to the clipboard and show a feedback on the UI that says code copied to the clipboard. And that is it with all the functionality. Now we are going to go into creating the UI. So let's start to create the UI by creating the language selection. Create a div and make it a flex container with the flex direction of column. After this small breakpoint, direction is going to be row with a gap of 4, and center the items. It is going to have a position of relative with z index 10. Inside, we're going to have this select element. We're going to use the value property to pass the target length state variable, and we're going to use onChange event handler to basically get whichever language user selects, and we're going to set it to set target language. Let's style it with a background of slate 900 with 80% opacity, text white, padding on the left and right and top and bottom, rounded corners with a border and a little drop shadow and a little shadow. Let's make the background blurry with cursor pointer. Inside this select, I'm gonna open a set of curly braces and map over these languages, and for every language gonna create a option. As the value we are going to pass the lang, and as the key we can also use lang, and inside we are going to display the language. Next, outside this select element, we're going to create a button, and this is going to be the button that is going to call the handle convert function. It's going to be disabled when AI is not ready or we are in the loading phase. Let's give it a padding on the left and right and top and bottom. Let's create a gradient background to the right from violet to this blue color. On hover, we are going to lower down the opacity, and when it's active, we're going to make it a little bigger. Text white, font semi-bold with rounded corners. Let's give it a transition for the hover effect. Make it a flex container with items centered. Gap 2. When it's disabled, we are going to lower down the opacity to 50. Give it a shadow and cursor pointer. Inside, I'm going to use curly braces. If we are in the loading phase, then we are going to show the loader icon. Let's make it bigger and use a animate spin. And if we are not in the loading state, then we can show this play button. Let's also make this one bigger as well. And again, if we are in the loading phase, we are going to say converting. And if it's not, just say convert. And this is how it looks like. Next, we're going to create another button for the reset. On click, it is going to call the reset function. And when it's disabled, it's going to be disabled when we are in the loading phase. We can copy and paste this styling and change the colors, delete the disabled style. And inside, we're going to have this rotate button and a reset text. Let's make it bigger. And this is how it looks like. Next, outside this div, we are going to create a grid to display the coding sections, one on the left and one on the right. So let's create a div and make it a grid. It's going to have a columns of 1. And after the large breakpoint, we're going to have 2 columns with a gap of 8 with 100% and maximum width of 7x large. It's going to have a position of relative with z index 10. Let's create the first coding section, which is going to be the section that user provides the code. Create a div and make it a slate 900 background with a border, slate 700, rounded corners, and a shadow. Hide the overflow and give it a blurry background. Inside, create another div, give it a slate background, padding on the left and right, top and bottom, border bottom, and make it slate. Make it a flex container and center the items horizontally with a gap of 2. We are going to display a icon, which is going to be the code icon. Let's make it bigger and make it blue. Right under this, gonna show a text that says input code. Let's make it white and font semi-bold. We're gonna put the coding section right under this, and we're gonna use code mirror. As the value, it is going to take the input code state variable. Let's set a height 420. Let's also make the JavaScript language support available by setting JavaScript. Because we are using React, we also need to set JSX to true. Let's set the theme to Dracula and set a onChange event handler. When the user provides a code, we are going to take it and store it inside set input code. And here is the initial value that we set here. Looks really well. Next, we are going to create another one. This one is going to show the converted code. Let's set the background to slate with a border, border slate, rounded corners with a shadow, and set the overflow to hidden. Set a backdrop blur, make it a flex container with flex direction of column. Inside, create another div with a slate background, padding on the left and right and top and bottom with a border bottom, make it slate, and a flex container with horizontally centered, and set justify between. Inside, gonna have another flex container with the items centered horizontally, gap of 2. Gonna show a icon which is check circle. Let's make it bigger and green. Then we're gonna have this span that says converted code, and we're gonna show the language that is converted. Make it white and font semi-bold. And let's create a button for the clipboard. Let's use the clipboard icon and make it bigger. This button is going to handle copy on click. It's going to be disabled when there is no output. Let's make it a flex container, center the items with a gap of 1, make the text small, padding on the left and right, and top and bottom. Make the background slate. On hover, it's going to be a lighter color with a text white, rounded corners, and when it's disabled, we are going to lower down the opacity to 50. And under this div, we can create the second coding section using coding mirror again. Gonna set the value to output code this time. Set the height to the same value, 420. We are going to enable the same JavaScript extension, and we're gonna set JSX to true again. Gonna set the theme to Dracula, and this one is not going to be editable, so set it to false. And finally, let's create a set of curly braces to show feedback. If there is a feedback, then we are going to display it inside this paragraph. Let's style it using backticks. Center the text, font semi-bold, create a little drop shadow with a relative position, z index 10. So we are going to check if this is a success message or not. So if the feedback includes this emoji, that means it's a success message. If it includes this emoji, it means the user is copied to the clipboard. So we can make the text green or red. And inside we are going to show the feedback. Outside these curly braces, I'm gonna open another one. If AI is not ready, then we are going to show this paragraph that says initializing AI, please wait. Make it smaller. Text slate 400, relative with a z index of 10. So let's see if everything is working fine. Let's try to convert this JavaScript function to Python, and it looks well. Let's change the color of this feedback to white, and also looks like the loading phase is not stopping. Let's take a look at the handle convert function. So it looks like after everything is done, we basically forget to set loading to false. Let's reset and check again. And there you go, it works beautifully. Let's select another language and convert this code. And there you go, everything seems to be working perfectly. So this is how we can create this AI code converter using React, Tailwind, and Puter.js. I hope you guys find it helpful and enjoyed it. Thank you for your time, and see you in the next video.